Party and practice.
25, look, PPL is here. My favorite time of year. Blood, sweat, and tears dripping all over the gear. Yeah, NFL is back, so is PPL. Let the game get started. Time to see who will prevail. Yeah, the wait is over. Yeah, it's time for fantasy. It's time to draft to build a team that's capable to win the ring. As the GAFF attack back to back and try to get him free. He's chilling on the throne where everybody wants to be. Yeah, we all want the money. Everybody pay the fee. For me, I'm trying to win it just to brag about my team. Everybody wants to read, but it ain't easy to achieve it. But believe it when I say it, feels so good when you receive it. Yeah, PPL is back, the other league is whack. You can say I'm talking smack, now I'm only speaking fact. Every week we got the live show, each year we got a nice flow. The others they can see us like they're playing with their eyes closed. PPL we ride, PPL we live, PPL we high, we the best you can't deny. Welcome to the live show, life be like the sideshow. You know and I know that PPL's a war zone, 100-yard battlefield, helmets as a battle shield. PPL we're back for real, time to draft and make a deal. Alpha versus Omega, battle with the fantasy, a game of intelligence, sacrifice and strategy.
Here we are, already a month in, already having such a good time. Time is already flying. PPL Live, week 4. We are here, ready to go. Ulysses, give us a what's up.
What's up, PPL?
We're here, we're ready to go, loud, proud, and ready to do it. But before we get into week 4, you know we got to take an eye back to our week 3 scores. Starting with the Argonauts getting a big win in the Alpha Conference, getting by Kev 143-94. Patty's Twins leaves no doubt 2 weeks in a row, 147-89. Squad underestimated gets another big Alpha Conference win in the prestige matchup of the week, 124-91. Appease the Gods gets to 3-0, the last undefeated standing, 106-74. And the champs, the GAFF attack, get on track in the Omega Conference with a big win, 133-92. Hey man, those scores are looking pretty healthy again this week. What did you think of the output this week, Ulysses?
I loved it. I mean, week 2 and 3 as opposed to week 1, we're seeing fireworks, we're seeing things get down, and we're seeing people make mistakes.
Oh no, definitely, man. It's always going to be, one man's mistake is another man's triumph. We're going to see that all season long. It's starting to come into clearer view. And let's take one more eye back to week 3 with the good, the bad, and the ugly. We already know what it is, good, bad, and ugly for week 3. It was full of a lot of it, man. Let me hear what you got.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to start with my good, with the Argos. I mean, handed Killer Kev a solid spanking. No Joe Burrow, no problem. I've been really impressed. I mean, not just this season, but with how this owner makes moves, is trying to make trades. I think more teams should be doing this. They would probably be in better shape. You see him come in with a spot starter, Marcus Mariota. He handles it. Everybody else does pretty much too. He only has 2 players not in double digits. Puts him in great position for what should be a very entertaining matchup this week with squad underestimated. Nothing but a good week for the Argos.
All right, man. Who's your bad?
Bad. I'm gonna go with only for the boss this week. Speaking of squad, these guys played them last week, and I thought that they had the right matchups to really exploit. And Patrick Mahomes and company, yes, they got the win, which is great. He's been searching for that, but no real fireworks for Mahomes or Kelsey.
Right.
Outside of James Cook and that the touchdown that Adams was able to secure, there just really wasn't anything exciting about only for the boss this week. And again, he controversy here to only for the boss, but he may want to start looking at Baker some weeks depending on the matchup, because the Chiefs are still trying to figure it out. It was a bad week for the boss. They're still tied for first, but again, I thought that they could have got a better output in this game.
All right, man. Who's your ugly?
Ugly, man. It's got to be the Skulls. The way that they came out on Thursday night, I thought Josh Allen had a good showing. But after that, I mean, really, that Atlanta head coach loss, I mean, taking a -15 Sunday morning, it's always going to be hard to climb out of that hole. And nobody was really trying outside of Hunter Henry. we're just talking about, this has been not just a bad week, a bad season. You want to talk about a Pantheon Cup hangover? The Skulls need to do some major reshuffling. Talking about trading, they need to do something big to save this season. And if not, it's just going to be a long season for the Skulls. It's been nothing but ugly.
All right, man. All right. No, I'm with you on that. But my good, if I got to start with anything, it's reality setting in, man. Studs stepping up. I mean, all across the PPL, I'm looking at some high scorers who are some big time keepers. I'm looking at Christian McCaffrey having a big time game. Obviously, the biggest stud of the week was Jonathan Taylor with 32 for Patty's Twins, and then obviously Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown getting on track was a big catalyst for the GAFF Attack's big Omega Conference victory. So studs stepping up for the teams that kept them in situations when they're needed to is going to be something to monitor all season. Even James Cook in the loss for the boss was able to get him 20 points. So studs stepping up is always a welcome sight in the PPL, and that's always a good thing. So studs stepping up is a good thing. My bad is the bloodbath of injuries, man. It's continuing. Guys are getting hurt left and right. I mean, and it's happening in matchups and in lineups. Just after a week after the injury to Burrow, we had CeeDee Lamb go down, get no points for the GAFF, and in their lineup, that's a really bad injury. But they were able to overcome that, which is good. But it was also bad for James Conner, Mike Evans. That was affecting matchups, and it ended up costing these teams big time conference wins. So the injuries coming up and hitting these teams is a big time thing. And my ugly is impotence and complacency, man. I'm looking around the PPL, and there's teams that haven't cracked 100 yet, and they're 0-3. I'm talking about Trey Fitty and the Skulls. It's not working, despite the fact that they may have one or two studs. I think that they might need to try to diversify and explore trades and other avenues of trying to get better, because what they're doing obviously isn't working. 3 weeks under 100, 3 weeks and you're 0-3. These teams have got to do something to get better. And I would also argue that the United play as the Destroyers after that upset win week 1 have also looked pretty ragged. Genty hasn't given them what they wanted, and it's going to be really tough for them to do something unless they explore making moves and trying to get more explosive.
They failed to the point we were talking last week to get Pickens or Keenan Allen in the lineup. Both guys doing big things.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, all across the league, you know, for all the teams that are doing really well, we're seeing already teams falling behind, and I would call it complacency. So that's my ugly. But that being said, hey, what's past is prologue. As I always say, it's time to move on to week 4. It's time to get into the present of the PPL, and the presence is always the gift. And we start with a big gift in our interconference matchup of the week between two storied teams. We got the GAFF taking on Only for the Boss. All right, man, big one here. Our first interconference game of the week. Our big interconference game of the week. The GAFF of Omega taking on Only for the Boss of Alpha. What do you think of this one?
Man, I think that both coaches, both teams are I don't know if they're winging it or just not paying attention to certain things. I mean, honestly, I don't know what the GAFF is doing with the Texans head coach. An 0-3 coach, I get it. They're playing an 0-3 team, but there's a lot more certainty going on. We got a Cam Scadaboo sighting. I expect Gibbs to struggle somewhat against Cleveland. They showed that they could be pretty stout last week. Right. And like the big thing for the GAFF is the absence of CeeDee Lamb. That has been an X factor, key cornerstone to the repeat effort, and him not being in makes this a totally different game. Right. Other side, Patrick and company have a matchup that I think could be, if they don't win, high scoring. But this is it. As I love the Corum pickup. I think that he should play Devonta Smith to counter Jalen Hurts, and he's been getting more involved. Right. There's a lot of X factors here, but I think I smell an upset. I think I've got him Only for the Boss winning this one. Okay. I'm going to go 122 to Only for the GAFF's 117.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the gaff on this one, man. I'm gonna go the other way. The way Jahmyr Gibbs is running and the amount of carries he's starting to get, he's clearly the alpha in that backfield. I know David Montgomery had those big runs in a big game, but Jahmyr Gibbs got a lot of carries inside of the 5-yard line. He was constantly being used in that offense, and he's a very, very dynamic player. I think that his floor gives him a very, very high chance of getting a big win. And obviously Jalen Hurts is going to continue to do what he does. The only problem that I see for the Gaff is the wide receiver position right now. Despite A.J. Brown's big game, he's got to come to grips with the idea that they're not going to be behind by 19 points and forced to throw the ball the majority of the time. So A.J. Brown's not going to get the looks that he got in that Rams game. That was an anomaly kind of performance, and I think that the Gaff probably needs to realize that. I do like the Matthew Golden play, but to me it's a crapshoot based on the way the Packers play their offense. I think DK Metcalf may need to just get in that lineup. I love the Cam Scatterboo play in the flex. I think that Scatterboo showed something, but that LA Charger game is going to be a tough one, and I think Jackson Dart's first start, even though it's going to be at home, I think the Chargers are going to have something for him. Jim Harbaugh's going to have something to say about that. Agree with you on that Texans coach, but they still should beat Tennessee at home. Now on the Bosses side, James Cook has a beautiful matchup, but even with a good matchup for Mahomes and Kelsey at home, on paper, they still haven't looked very dynamic this year. Calvin Ridley is a head scratcher to play, and Devontae Adams did not practice with a knee injury, so there's a questions for concern there. Deebo Samuel's going to be very dependent on if Jaden Daniels is able to suit up. So at the end of the day, I'm going to go with what I know, and what I know is that the Gaff attack has been able to rack up wins. So I'm going to go with them to get this win, 122 to only for the Bosses 114. And moving on to our next matchup, we go into the Alpha Conference for a game of survival between these two teams. I need about Trey Fitty needs a win like a man in hell needs a cup of ice water. We got Trey Fitty going up against Killer Kev, man. What you think of this one?
Yeah, I mean, this is a straight coin flip, right? There's really been a lot of inconsistent play on both of these sides. I mean, we're going to see what the number 2 pick in the draft, Hampton's back in the lineup. I think Dunze's a good pick. Jaden Daniels being healthy will be a factor. And I also like their head coach play. Patriots D, yeah, I'm not so sure. Carolina just went out and blanked Atlanta. Now this is going to be a much different look.
Right.
But when a team does that, yeah, again, early in the season, I'm not sure what to make of it. Look at the other side. I think Jordan Love and company are going to have some displacement aggression against Dallas.
Okay.
I think that we saw that Dallas, as the defense can be exploited, they're going to be down CeeDee Lamb. He's going with both of these guys. And I really don't think that they lay duds as they had. Other than that, he's got guys that could score, and I mean, I think he's just positioned decently this week. And again, he's going with the Packers D and head coach. Now, again, this thing all depends on, do you think the Packers are going to win this week?
Yeah.
I do think they will.
Okay.
I think that they're just in better shape, and I think that factor's huge in this matchup.
Okay.
I've got Killer Kev winning this one. In a good matchup.
Okay.
I think this was going to be one of the more entertaining ones. I've got him going 115 to 113.
All right, man. I'm going the other way on this one. If that approach fails against Cleveland, I don't know how much better it could be against Dallas. When I'm looking at Jaden Daniels, if he plays, I love Trey Fitty in this matchup. Omarion Hampton got the break of a lifetime when Najee Harris broke his ankle. Breece Hall, I think, has a great matchup against Miami. And I think that Atlanta needs to hit reset on that offense. And I think Trey Fitty probably needs to hit reset on his dependence on the Falcons. He's got too many Falcons in there. If he's able to kind of rectify that, I think he's in great shape. Maybe even we could see a Quidshon Judkins sighting. They'll be behind, but I think that he'll be able to break off some big-time runs. And I also like the fact, actually, there it is, Harold Fannin Jr. I would play him over Kyle Pitts. And I think that Marvin Harrison Jr. is not a guy he should give up on, despite it being a Thursday night game. But I still like his lineup a little bit better than Killer Kev's. I do like Achane on Monday night. But Brian Thomas Jr. and Trevor Lawrence just don't mix. And Jameson Williams, he's up and down, is high and low. So I'm gonna go with Trey Fitty to get his second. Excuse me, actually to get off the schneid. Actually, wow, and get his first win. 119 to Killer Kev's 110. And moving on to our next matchup, we go into Omega for a big one between these two teams. Something's got to give for the United players. Or do they got to start looking at some other ways to get things done? We got United players taking on Appease the Gods. All right, man. ATG coming into this matchup 3-0, but they come into this one as underdogs, man. 8-point underdogs. What do you think of this one? Can United players actually pull this one off?
I mean, they can certainly pull it off. And I'll tell you, one of the things that helps them, they're actually playing the best lineup that they have. I mean, and this is a rarity when we're talking, Gino. I mean, normally, again, I know you're defending the guy sometimes saying he'll set the lineup, but as we were talking in Good, Bad, and Ugly, it don't always happen. And so that's what always makes UP somewhat of an X factor.
Yeah.
And again, I'm down for certain type of X factors. Setting your lineup ain't one of them.
Okay.
And so he has set his lineup. I think he's got a good one. But again, I'll tell you what I see happening.
What's that?
Daniel Jones is going to come back to earth a little bit. I'm not saying he's going to have a terrible game, but I think he comes back down to earth.
This is probably the best game the opponent he's got so far. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's going to be on the road. And so again, we're going to see, man. Derrick Henry, man, the fumble bug is caught in him. And
yeah.
If I'm Spagnola's Chiefs defense, we're coaching this all week, and we're trying to impose some doubt. Genty still has not gone. Once he does, I'll start believing in that a little bit more. Again, Pickens, I think, and Keenan Allen are great plays this week.
Right.
I'm not even hating Johnson or Swift. I think that Lions D against Cleveland, also a good play, and Bill should absolutely crush the New Orleans Saints. The Appease the Gods, I think, has a much tougher road here, but they're just more proven to me at this point. Again, he's going with the stalwarts in Jackson and Robinson, who I think could have decent days. I mean, even in not scoring at all, Robinson posted double digits last week. So he's just showing from a utility standpoint. Sutton's showing that he is definitely the prime target in that Bo Nix offense, and ATG has that for bombs away Monday night. And again, he was able to go out this week. A lot of teams were focused on getting a coach. He was able to get Tucker, the number 4 wideout, and we're going to see him this week. He's going to play the Steelers D against Minnesota. I like that play. That game's going to be in Ireland.
Yeah.
The games that have been out there, it's wet. It's really that old smash mouth football with the quarterback play in Minnesota. I think Carson showed a great week last week, but I think he comes back to earth. Okay. And again, I think the Ravens coach is somewhat tricky. I still like ATG here. Again, I think that it's going to be a week of close matchups. I have ATG, though, winning this one 120 to the United players 114.
All right, man. This is a tough one. I'm gonna lean with you, man. I think that Appease the Gods just has found ways to win, and United players has found ways to lose. The Trey Tucker being a number 4 receiver is very deceiving. He had a 3 touchdown. He had a huge game in garbage time last week that it really bolstered his numbers. But I mean, he is technically at that spot, but it's still early on. It'll be interesting to see if he can keep up that production. For me, man, I'm really looking at Chris Godwin Jr. as a guy that is going to be an interesting position because of the Mike Evans injury. Looks like he's practicing fully this week. So I would think that might be a play where ATG might want to go. Other than that, I think that lineup is rock solid. I think DJ Moore is actually losing ground, though, in that offense to Romo Dunze. He's clearly falling behind and is becoming the number 2. Now, on the United player side, they did get their best lineup in. Keenan Allen is turning back into a top tier receiver with the Chargers again. George Pickens is volatile, but he's going to get a lot of targets. He's going to be the biggest beneficiary of CeeDee Lamb's injury. And that Jawan Johnson play has been pretty good so far this year. Don't like DeAndre Swift right now in the flex, and I'm with you. I think that Daniel Jones comes back to earth. That Bills coach, though, that screaming 20-point win, and that Ravens coach can really flip this one for ATG. But at the end of the day, I think ATG finds a way to get it done. Maybe they realize they don't have to play that Ravens coach at some point. I don't know. But I think that they get it done in a low-scoring kind of game. I got them getting this one 110 to the United Players 99. And moving on to our next matchup, we go into another Omega game. A big one for both of these teams as the Goals are trying to survive and the Twins are trying to fly high. We got Patty's Twins taking on the Skulls. All right, man. Two teams going in opposite directions. The Skulls can't get to 100 and the Twins can't get below 145. What do you think of this one, man? It looks lopsided on paper. Twins, Skulls.
Yeah, I mean, it is lopsided. This is the lock of the week. I mean, it's Josh Allen. I mean, Hunter Henry's getting love because he had a big week. But outside of that, I mean, again, he has one running back effectively on this lineup.
Right.
I mean, Benson is now in the driver's seat. But, I mean, Tootin, I mean, that's a rookie. The injuries now to Jones and Mixon's been out all season and Johnson just really not being the guy that we thought he was going to be in that lineup with the Steelers. This guy needs, again, to make some big moves. And, again, this was not the week to do it. I'm with you, man. The Twins coming off of 2 leave no doubt performances. I think they'll be vying for a third.
Okay.
I've got them in this one going 135 to the Skulls. I'll give them it 103.
All right, man. I'm with you. I got Patty's Twins in this matchup as well. I'm looking at Justin Herbert. Great matchup against the Giants. I think Jonathan Taylor's got a pretty good matchup too. He's the reason they're where they are right now. I know Daniel Jones is getting a lot of headlines, but that running game has been superb. Javonte Williams is another dark horse player for Patty's Twins who's been, I mean, once she realized what he could do after that week 1 performance, he's been in that lineup and he's not going anywhere. Malik Neighbors is the biggest beneficiary from the Jackson Dart change, but it's still going to remain to be seen how that's going to look. And I'm really liking the Jake Ferguson and Amon-Ra Brown plays. Those two guys are target hogs, and Jordan Mason in that flex position is going to be a beast. Now on the Skull side, we know what Josh Allen's going to bring, but he's not going to need to put up 42 points against the Saints. He'll probably really need to put up 25, and I think that's what's going to hold the Skulls down. I got Patty's Twins getting this one, man. I don't know if they leave no doubt. I'm not going to even go there. I'm just going to say they go get it 124 to the Skulls 98. And moving on to the prestige matchup of the week. Sights turn to the Alpha Conference in a big game for first place. We got Squad Underestimated taking on the Argonauts. All right, man, big one here. Squad Underestimated. They can get back into first place after getting by only for the boss. They got to get by the Argonauts, who are undefeated in Alpha right now at 2-0 in the conference. Big one here. What do you think of this one? Squad, Argo. Prestige matchup of the week.
Yeah, man, this one's always excites, and I love what both teams have been doing. I mean, after each of these teams lost week 1, which, again, nobody really thought of, they've looked solid ever since. Really makes this matchup alluring, right? The Argos, the main challenge that they've had this season, and I mean, it's plagued them for a few seasons, has been the injury bug. I mean, they are now sitting with, I see at least 2 guys on IR, 4 guys fighting injury, 5 guys, I believe, fighting injury. That'll be the biggest X factor for the Argo. They still, it looks like Matthew Stafford will probably be making the start unless he's in the works for something. But again, he's got studs everywhere. This matchup's going to be really exciting. When I look at Squad, I mean, again, the Bo Nix play has worked out. McCaffrey, I think we all have to look at. He's looking like comeback player of the year type effort so far.
Right.
I think I've been surprised. I was expecting him to not come back and be such an impact, but I mean, I'll admit that. Nakua's looking like the guy out in LA. And Brock Bowers, I mean, again, the injury was not significant. That's a huge relief here. And I like the 49ers head coach. You know, I think it's going to take everything the squad has to get this one. I think that they give us a prestige matchup of the week, and I think it takes a leave no doubt effort. I've got squad leaving no doubt 146 to the Argos 140.
Oh, wow. Squad underestimated, 147. I'm with you, man. Squad underestimated looks unbeatable. We got Bo Nix on Monday night, J.K. Dobbins on Monday, so they can hold their piss till then. We got Brock Bowers against the Chicago Bears. That game should be pretty high scoring. And, of course, they're going to get Quentin Johnson to that lineup. Should be very interesting. Puka Nacua leads all receivers in yards in the PPL. And like you said, Christian McCaffrey's making that comeback. I mean, he's third in the PPL amongst running backs. So it's all pointing towards squad underestimated. Niners coach should roll on Jacksonville. On the Argonauts side, they don't even know who's going to be their quarterback. Chase Brown doesn't look very good. Kyron Williams is touchdown dependent. Justin Jefferson doesn't have a quarterback. Nico Collins, we don't know what's going to happen there. Trey McBride's on Thursday. And Emeka Egbuka, he's a rookie. So we'll see how it goes. The best thing they got right now is the kicker and Lions coach. I got squad underestimated getting this matchup. 138 to the Argonauts, 110. Alrighty, PPLers, thanks for another great week of PPL Live. Like, comment, subscribe. Good luck. Have a good week. May the odds be ever in your favor. Hey, we're already into it. A month in, and we got 2 more months to go. I hope you guys are having a good season. See you next week.